Welcome back to Mrs. Skulski's Schoolhouse. It's great to see you again. Oh, my, is our special guest already here?
Here's Sammy.
My, they are.
Hello, Mrs. Skulski. I didn't mean to steal the show. I'm just excited to make my big debut at the schoolhouse.
Not to worry, Sammy. I just haven't had a chance to introduce you.
Well, then allow me. Hey, schoolhouse kids, how are you feeling today? Looking good out there. I'm Sammy, and I'm a starfish.
That's right. This is Sammy, here to represent the letter S.
And I'm a starfish.
Yes, you are. Sammy, I'm very excited to learn so many interesting things about starfish. But before we begin, I want to be sure that you're okay and feeling all right in our tank.
Yes, quite the tank you have here. I can't see it very well, but it feels good in here. Nice temperature.
You can't see very well. Do you need more light?
Like a spotlight?
No, we don't have a spotlight.
Oh.
But we could perhaps get more light on in the schoolhouse.
No, it's all right. Starfish don't see the way the people do. We don't have eyes.
Oh, well, it looks to me like you have eyes.
These are for show. I spent a little extra time in makeup before coming on set today.
Oh?
Starfish don't have regular eyes. We have eye spots on the end of our arms.
Oh.
We don't see detailed images like human eyes can, but we can detect light and dark and basic shapes.
Really? Like what?
Right now, Mrs. Skulski, your face is a lightly colored circle.
I'm a circle.
That's right. And I'm a starfish.
Sammy, I can't help notice that you really enjoy calling yourself a star, but not so much a fish.
That's because I'm not a fish, Mrs. Skulski.
But you're called a starfish.
Yes, but starfish are not really fish. A much more appropriate name for us is sea stars. Like me, I'm a starfish, ready for my big break.
Starfish aren't fish?
No, we are echinoderms.
Echinoderms.
That's right. Echinoderms, closely related to sea urchins and sand dollars.
Oh, so you don't swim?
No, Mrs. Skulski, we have tiny tube feet that help us move along the ocean floor.
That's handy.
Handy? Other than me, have you ever seen a starfish work a crowd, Mrs. Skulski?
Work a crowd?
No, you have not. And why is that, you might ask? Because starfish are not fast movers, Mrs. Skulski.
Oh.
We travel less than 1 mile per hour.
Oh.
But I intend to change all that, Mrs. Skulski.
You're going to change how fast you move?
Metaphorically speaking, yes. I intend to catapult into stardom, launch my career into unexplored waters.
I don't think I quite understand what you mean, Sammy. Do you mean you're hoping to become a celebrity?
Absolutely. And why shouldn't I be? Can you imagine my star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame?
Well, that's a pretty big dream, Sammy. Showbiz can be pretty tough.
Nothing I can't handle. Starfish are already famous for our ability to withstand extreme conditions.
Well, that's not quite what I meant.
Some can even survive in the deep sea.
Where do you live, Sammy?
As you can see, I'm a purple sea star.
I can see that. And a very beautiful one, too.
Oh, thank you. I make my home along the Pacific coast of North America.
Oh, whereabouts?
I'm currently in the Vancouver area, but trying to make my way south to California.
Why?
Closer to Hollywood, obviously.
Oh, yes, I suppose it is. And Sammy, how old are you?
How old am I?
Yes.
That's a rather personal question, isn't it?
I see. Okay. Well, perhaps the better question is how long do starfish live?
That I will answer.
Mm.
Up to 35 years in the wild.
Oh, that's great. And are all starfish purple?
Oh no! Starfish come in a variety of colors, including red, pink, blue, and purple. Some starfish species are bioluminescent,
Bioluminescent.
meaning they can produce and emit light.
So they glow?
Yes.
Can you do that, Sammy?
No. The glowing starfish live in the Arctic Ocean. Scientists think that they use the light to find their way in the deep sea.
Well, that would make sense.
Well, if you ask me, it's a waste of talent. What I wouldn't give for that gift. Can you imagine? Who needs the limelight when you can make your own?
I didn't know that starfish could look different.
Mrs. Skulski, there are about 2,000 different starfish species. I assure you, we are not all the same.
2,000. But you all grow to the same size.
Definitely not. The smallest sea stars are less than an inch in diameter.
This big?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how big do the largest starfish get?
Some get as big as 3 feet in diameter.
Can you imagine? Wow! That's a lot of body for 5 arms.
We don't all have 5 arms.
You don't?
Most of us do, but the number depends on the species. Some 6 or 7 arms, and others have 10, 15 arms. One species in the Antarctic can have over 50 arms.
50 arms?
Pardon me, some people call them legs.
Okay, but wow, 50 of them?
Apparently, although I must confess, I've never seen one for myself, just in pictures. Pictures. I ought to be in pictures, don't you think, Mrs. Skulski?
I'm starting to think so, yes. But wouldn't you miss your family, Sammy?
Starfish don't live in families. We spend most of our lives alone.
Oh, but your mothers look after you when you're born.
No, we start life as a fertilized eggs and develop into larvae. Then we spend some time floating and drifting in the sea.
Like plankton?
Yes. Did you know that plankton comes from the Greek word planktos, which means to drift or float?
I didn't.
Once we've grown and matured a bit, we transform into adult starfish.
Kind of like a caterpillar turns into a butterfly.
Well, we definitely change, but we don't do it in a cocoon. We move into the seafloor and transform there.
Wow, that is so cool. Although I'm sure that when you're young, you have to worry about a lot of predators.
Oh, yes, but starfish have a hard, calcified skin that protects us from most predators. So you see, Mrs. Skulski, I've got the tough skin that show business demands.
I suppose you do. Yes, Sammy. But what kind of predators do starfish have?
Well, it depends where we live, but our more common predators are sea otters, sharks, stingrays, crabs, and birds.
Birds?
Like seagulls.
Oh. I guess they could be dangerous.
Not just dangerous, but disgusting.
Oh?
It's terrible. They pick us up off the beach at low tide, fly high into air, and then drop us onto rocks to break us apart.
Ow.
And eat us.
Ow.
Some even swallow us whole. Rude.
Oh.
Believe me, it is not a pretty sight.
I guess not.
I once made the mistake of telling a seagull that I was waiting to get picked up by an agency, not a bird.
Oh, dear. Did it hurt you?
Well, I did lose a limb before the tide came and swept me back to sea, so yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's all right. I grew another one, but it delayed my career for over a year. Apparently, no one wants a starfish with 4 legs.
Wait, you grew another leg?
Sure, regrowing a new limb is an amazing ability that starfish have.
So, which leg did you regrow? Oh, wow. Looks great.
Thanks. I considered having a little work done to make the older ones look a little young like the new one, but I decided that eating was more important than my looks.
Hmm. And what do you eat, Sammy?
Oh, clams, oysters, mussels.
Well, how do you get the shells open?
I pry them open with the tiny suction cups on my feet.
Wow, that's impressive.
And then I push my stomach out of my mouth and into the shell.
What?
How else am I going to eat prey that is bigger than my mouth?
Well, where is your mouth?
Right here, on the underside of my body, in the center.
Oh, and then what happens?
Then my stomach releases digestive enzymes that changes my food into something kind of like soup. And then I digest it.
And then?
And then I pull my stomach back into my body.
Wow. That is a very unusual way to eat.
You think so?
Absolutely. I've interviewed many creatures and I've never heard of one of them eating like you.
All of part of what makes me a starfish. Just waiting for my big break.
Sammy, I'm surprised by what I've learned about starfish today. Aren't you? I've never spoken with a live starfish before.
Oh.
No, I've only ever seen the shell of starfish on walls in people's homes.
On walls?
Yes, like when they put them in decor, like in bathrooms.
Mrs. Skulski, I must tell you a general rule about echinoderms used in decorations. They are not shells. They are mummies, dried endoskeletons.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. A starfish gets oxygen from the water. We can only survive for 3 to 5 minutes out of water before we die.
Oh, so people shouldn't touch starfish at all.
Please don't. We are stars, not props. Fascinating, but also delicate.
Well, that's good to know. If you ever see a starfish in the water, don't pick it up. Don't touch it. Just look, but don't touch. Sammy, I want to thank you so much for joining us today at Mrs. Skulski's Schoolhouse. We've learned so much.
Oh, thank you for having me, Mrs. Skulski. Anytime you want to chat, just call.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And I want to wish you all the best in your show business career. Break a leg, as they say. Oh, actually, that's probably not very good, is it?
I could grow another, but I don't want to keep Hollywood waiting.
No, I guess not. Well, until next time, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Do you think any agencies were watching? Hello to all my new fans. This is Sammy. If you'd like to meet some of the other letter guests who follow in my footsteps, please like and subscribe below. And make sure to follow me, Sammy, on Fishtagram. Are you getting my good side?